Come, let us practice Tantric Chanting to help us meditate like a Jedi. As the tip of our left index finger supports the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger, palms up in our lap, let us practice the energy work of bliss and letting go in such a manner that it feels as if the Force itself is giving us a kiss on the top of our head. To do this, we require neither blind faith nor elaborate visualizations. All we need to do is chant the following 6 syllables: Lama, come to pay crown. Lama, come... Oh, let's try this again. Lama, come to pay crown. 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 Let's practice the first set of the awareness and letting go that is meditating like a Jedi, the 7th and 8th folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. You see, if we waste our time actively concentrating or actively analyzing, we will exhaust our prefrontal cortex and trigger our amygdala, the seat of anxiety and aggression. Nobody wants that. However, when we cooperate with our autonomic nervous system, our amygdala is calmed and we gently stimulate our anterior cingulate gyrus, the seat of empathy, which is fabulous. How does that work? Our autonomic system is just a fancy name for our spinal cord and that which it connects to. Every time we inhale, whether we know it or not, we are already wired to access the middle bit of our spinal cord known as our sympathetic nervous system. It is evolved to help us to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly whatever comes up, be it external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque. But what do we do with that which we notice? Every time we exhale, we have already evolved to automatically access the parasympathetic nervous system focused or located in the upper bit and the bottom bit of that same spinal cord. This parasympathetic nervous system has evolved to help us to physically relax and mentally release to such a degree that that which we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel less stressful, less permanent, less defining, and even less graspable. That is, of course, until our next inhalation and the cycle begins all over again. And that's exactly fine. So, that sounds great. How do we do that? Here's the easiest way. Every time we feel air enter our nostril, we can silently and mentally recite the verb watch. Every time we feel air exit our nostril, we can silently and mentally recite the verb rest. Hey, Ruth, thanks for the love. We can touch the tip of our left thumb to the first set of creases at the bottom of our left little finger. And that way we can start working on our first set of 16 inhalations. And as mentioned a few moments ago, we're going to use our left index finger to support our right index finger. Our right hand is going to be used to count the 16 inhalations. Having completed our 16 inhalations, on our left hand, our thumb advances to the next set of creases. And that's the process we follow. Now let us return our palms up to our lap. Let us practice the holocron of impermanence and interdependence. As we relax into our exhalation, the circumstances or lots we noticed during our previous inhalations could look as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this body or form. Let us divide the silent and mental recitation of the 6-syllable synopsis between our inhalation and our exhalation. Into form, all lots melt. As we relax into our exhalation, these bodies or forms we noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this communication or speech. Into speech, all forms melt. As we relax into our exhalation, the experience of the interpersonal speech or communication we noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as impermanent and interdependent, as if it could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this mind. Into mind, all speech melts. As we relax into our exhalation, all the lucid perceiving, emoting, intending, thinking, recalling and imagining minds we noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into our vast empty void, like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although could look tantalizing to the eye, could feel not graspable to the hand. Into void, all minds melt. Let us practice the second set of the awareness and letting go that is meditating like a Jedi, the 7th and 8th folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. By the way, that set of complete contemplations we just played with were the first fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Let us watch the antics of mind and rest into its non-graspable nature. Welcome aboard to my friends on the Tube app. As the tip of our left middle finger supports the great knuckle at the base of our right middle finger, palms up in our lap. Let's practice the energy work of bliss and letting go in such a manner that it could feel like the Force itself giving us a hug. To do this, we require neither blind faith nor visualizations. All we got to do is chant the following 6 syllables. Lama blend with this mind. That's it. Lama blend with this mind. Lama blend with this mind. Lama blend with this mind. Let's practice the third set of the awareness and letting go that is meditating like a Jedi, the 7th and 8th folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Wrong button. Let's try that again. As we feel our chest swell, we could silently and mentally recite the verb watch. As we feel our chest subtly sink, as gently we exhale, we could silently and mentally recite the verb rest. And as such, we'll be cooperating, passively and vulnerably cooperating with our autonomic nervous system in such a way as that we are watching the antics of mind and relaxing into its non-graspable nature. Now listen, you're not in this by yourself. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist or Taoist philosophy or meditation, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window, for I check for questions intermittently. So, if you've just tuned in, many people find this modified Bengali crease counting to be helpful. We could touch the tip of our left thumb to the first set of creases at the bottom of our left little finger. That'll mark our first collection of 16 inhalations. On our right hand, we can count those 16 inhalations with our right thumb. Anything that seems difficult and awkward can be made relatively easy and effortless simply by practicing it once every 12 hours for a week or so. Having completed our 16 inhalations, we can advance our thumb up to the second set of creases on the same little finger of our left hand, and thus begin our second collection of 16 inhalations. We can do that while our left middle finger supports our right ring knuckle, palms up in our lap. Uh-huh. Let us practice the holocron-like exercises of love and letting go. We're going to begin by chanting a disclaimer. If you are, to my friends on the clock app, this would be chanting will be much easier for you. When you join me on the Tube app, if you can see this disclaimer on your screen, you're already where you need to be. Some people get unsettled by fear of missing out. Rather than indulge or controlling tendencies with all follies of active visualization, emotion, magic, and belief, we could just recite these kind words in harmony with our breathing and allow our subconscious to do the heavy lifting. Therefore, not to sidestep the rigidity that confuses metaphors or statements literal, and instead relax into the flexibility that savors the chance explaining metaphors as similes. We'll begin by chanting an explanation of this 10-syllable mantra. Om, I invoke the love that Tare spiritually liberates, and to Tare physically rescues as well as Ture blesses. So may all beings master this dynamism. So we begin by bringing our experience of the mental into the path of love, which is the second fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. May all minds of all beings now be as joyfully enlightened or Buddhi as the mind of a real or imagined Buddha symbolized by a Bija one syllable seed mantra tamoti clay drop. Again, we're going to divide the silent and mental recitation of the 6-syllable synopsis between our inhalation and our exhalation. Wisdom, joy for all minds. Once again, this is not an opportunity to believe. This is not an opportunity to visualize. By passively reciting these words silently and mentally in harmony with our breathing, we are exercising the neural pathways that support empathy. It's just that simple. It's like doing push-ups. When no one does push-ups really thinking they're moving the earth. It's just an exercise. And now we come to the first of 4 exercises of mantra meditation, which is the union of love and letting go. How do we do that? Simple. During the inhalation, we silently and mentally recite the 6-syllable synopsis in its entirety. During the exhalation, we do 2 things. We physically relax as best we can, while striving to chant the 10-syllable mantra 4 times per breath, for a total of 4 breaths. Now, please, if this is your first rodeo, give yourself permission to have a learning curve. Om Tare Du Tare Du Re Suwa, Om Tare Du Tare Du Re Suwa, Om Tare Du Tare Du Re Suwa, Om Tare Du Tare Du Re Suwa. I began my tantric journey as a member of a really culty-like organization where everyone was really uptight and anxious and rigid. And so you can imagine my surprise when a Tibetan refugee taught me this style of chanting where you're relaxing and letting go. And it blew my little fairy mind. Om Tare Du Dare Du Re Suwa. 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 And now we're going to bring our experience of the interpersonal into the path of love, which is the third fold of the Buddha's eightfold path. May all relationships, communication, or speech of all beings now be as peacefully loving as a real or imagined Buddhist speech or communication symbolized by this horizontal 10-syllable mantra. Peaceful love for all speech. So one of the things you'll notice in the way that this practice text or sadhana is written is that I'm trying to blend not only the sutra with the tantra, but the Theravada with the Mahayana. Peaceful love for all speech. Because it's easy to love, it's challenging to learn how to love fully invested, non-neurotically. And now we convert this to mantra meditation. If you're joining me on the clock app, welcome aboard. It'll be much easier for you to follow along on the tube app. Peaceful love for all speech is what we silently and mentally recite during our inhalation. During our exhalation, we physically relax as best we can while chanting the 10-syllable mantra 4 times per breath for a total of 4 breaths. And I promise you that if you don't do it perfectly, the earth is not going to open up and swallow you live. That hardly happens, ever at all. Om Tare Du Dare Du Re Suwa. 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 Some people get anxious and they're like, dude, when I'm chanting and relaxing, I'm not able to concentrate on love. Good. Concentration does more harm than good. When we breathe in, we're reading a loving wish. That's great. That's all you need. When we're exhaling and we're relaxing and releasing and letting go. And thus we are practicing the Mahamudra of love and emptiness. Om Tare Du Dare Du Re Suwa. 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 We now bring our experience of the physical into the path of love, which is the 4th fold of the Buddha's eightfold path. May all bodies or forms of all beings now ensure the beautiful health depicted in Buddhist statuary of the blissful body of a Devi or Yadama, an archetype of enlightenment such as Green Tara. Aha, question I see. So Marvai asks, can you explain the breathing part again? How you arrange it with the words. Sure. So what we're doing right now is this. As we breathe in, we're silently and mentally reciting beauty health, because there is a visceral evolutionary response to physical attributes that are evolutionarily beneficial. And so we consider that, regardless of which age or culture we live in, we consider that beautiful. It's a visceral, intuitive thing. As we exhale, we're going to silently and mentally recite for all forms. So we don't have to actively make this happen. We're not Gandalf the Grey. We're not trying to work magic. We're simply playing with words passively and in harmony with our breathing as a form of exercise for our neural pathways that support empathy. You see, the Buddha was keen on exploring the four bases of mindfulness. Over the last several minutes, we've explored the mental and the interpersonal. Right now we're exploring the physical, and in a few moments we'll explore the circumstantial. In Pali, this would be known as Chitta, Vedana, Kaya, and Dhamma. So I tell you this not because you have to memorize these words, but so you understand that this is an ancient Buddhist teaching. Think of it as a carrier wave through the centuries upon which the teachings ride. And so right now we're playing with body, and we're bringing the physical into the path of love, because humans are multifaceted, are we not? Now that we have at least a little bit of familiarity with these 6 syllables, we're going to silently and mentally recite these exact same 6 syllables during the mantra meditation. Now, it's not a mantra concentration, it's a mantra meditation. And as we explored, every time we exhale, thanks to the sympathetic aspect of our spinal cord, we are already wired to physically relax and mentally release. So by choosing to physically relax while chanting the mantra, we are taking a break from the destructive habit of actively competing against our own autonomic nervous system. And instead we are relatively passively cooperating with it. How important is cooperation with our autonomic nervous system? There are some who would describe it as the hardware of our Buddha nature. The more effectively we cooperate with our autonomic nervous system, the more peaceful and loving and spontaneous we are, the more enlightened we are. Om Tare Nare Nure Suwa, 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 Om Tare Nare Nure Suwa. Om Tare Nare Nure Suwa, Om Tare Nare Nure Suwa, Om Dare do dare do re so wa. 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 Okay, I see a question. And the question reads, so first you take the breath and exhale the mantra 4 times before you breathe in again? Yes. So during the inhalation, we recite the, come on, coordination. During our inhalation, we recite this once as we breathe in. During our exhalation, we strive to chant this 4 times in one breath. If you can't do it perfectly, no problem. It just means you have a fun goal that you can build towards in time. It's fun having goals. If you did everything perfect all the time, how boring would that be? We come to our 4th and final exercise of mantra meditation for this midday session. We're going to bring our experience of the circumstantial, Dhamma, into the path of love, the 5th fold of the Buddha's 8-fold path. May all circumstances, all lots of all beings know have the safety, great fortune, or boon. As a Buddha's real or imagined paradise, Pirlandavanti. Great fortune for all lots. Lots of, of course, means circumstances. Om dare do dare do re so wa. 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 Let us take a moment to explore priorities. When chanting this mantra, our first goal is not to recite it at Mach 5 with our hair on fire. When we chant this mantra, our first goal is not to be an operatic master. What then is our first goal? Simple. As we chant the 10-syllable mantra, our first goal is to physically relax as best we can. When we do that, when we make that our top priority, the operatic quality and the speed of our enunciation take care of themselves. I promise you. I am a deeply handicapped person. If I can learn this, anyone can learn this given the right instructions. So, let's play with this without beating ourselves up too much. Now, I'm not accusing you of beating yourself up, but I know that I'm really good at beating myself up, and I don't think I'm the only human on the planet who does that. Om tare do da do do re so wa. Om tare do da do re so wa. Om tare do da do re so wa. Om tare do da do re so wa. Om dare do dare 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 do re so wa. Om da-de-do, re-so-wa. Om, da-de-do, re-so-wa. Let us now practice this session's fourth and final set of awareness and letting go, that is meditating like a Jedi. This awareness and letting go is the seventh and eighth folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path, and they generate the effortless effort of the sixth fold. Marvai, you are perfectly welcome, and of course I apologize if I'm brutalizing the pronunciation of your name. In our compassion may we long to free all beings from the toxic tyranny of ever. Hating, craving, and clinging, metaphorically known as the three mental poisons. In our pragmatism, may our liberation of all others be fueled by the three wish-fulfilling jewels of following the Buddha's example, applying his instructions, and cooperating with his students. Having sat for the better part of an hour, we might find it refreshing to conversationally recite the 8-syllable synopsis of that which we just chanted. May we free all through the 3 jewels, while performing some deep knee bends. This, of course, is perfectly optional. Oi. Whew. Okay, let's adjust the clock app camera so they can follow along if they wish. Okay. Okay, heels about shoulder width. Let's put the weight of the balls on the feet. Full range, toe squats, ass to the grass, up to our tippy toes. May we free all through the 3 jewels. Now we'll plant our heels and do half squats. May we free all through the 3 jewels. And now full heel squats. May we free all through the 3 jewels. I don't know about you, but this really wakes my legs up after all this sitting. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In about 2 3/4 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's 3rd practice of chanting as well as meditation. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.